my name is Amy, but I go by Daughter of Bell almost everywhere. I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa. I started in AR back in 2019, back when Spark AR was still in beta. Fast forward to lockdown and AR just kind of exploded, and for me it just kind of snowballed straight out of there. I am proud of all of my effects that I've made. I don't really have a favorite because I look at each effect that I make as an opportunity to grow as an AR creator and expand my skill set. But I do have to give a shout out to my effect Luma, which was one of my first effects that ever went viral. The future of AR for me is very bright. I'm very excited about it. I think we're only just beginning to scratch the surface of what AR can do, from wearable tech to storing and showing off your NFTs. I think it's just going to be a very exciting place to be in. I cannot wait to see what the future has in store for not only me, but for all of the AR creators. In the future, I'm hoping to work with more and more clients and also hoping to expand on my skills and finding out just what makes AR so awesome. I am excited and very, very eager for the future of this medium.
So I found out about Spark AR during 2019, I think towards the end of 2019. But unfortunately it was still in beta, so I couldn't get access to it. But I was like super desperate to get involved, and then suddenly it just came out of like the closed beta and we could start making effects, and there were already like so many powerful players and so many amazing creators that were making effects at the time that I felt quite like demotivated, and I was like, is this even a space that I want to get into, because everybody is doing it now, and it's like one of those things where everybody's doing it, and like, am I going to be good enough? And I decided that, you know, this is just something that I'm going to try, and this is just something that I'm going to do. So I made my first effect and uploaded it, and it was awful. It was possibly one of the worst effects that has ever come across in the world. But I was super proud of it at the time. I thought, this is just such amazing technology. This is so smart. And it had like never been seen before, especially here in my country, where like augmented reality is basically saying unicorns and rainbows to somebody. They just don't get it. So to call myself an AR designer in my country is like, people are like, oh, what is that? I don't understand. So coming from this like background of having no idea about it, and suddenly like being thrown into the deep end of it was quite exciting. It was terrifying, but it was very exciting at the same time. So my AR journey started there with this one terrible effect, and I found that the more I practiced, the better my effects looked, and the more I learned, the better my effects were getting, and the more advanced capabilities that I was learning about helped make my effects even better. I hope that makes sense. My learning process was basically practice makes perfect, and I would say that I'm nowhere near perfect now because there's still a lot left to learn. But basically what I would do is I would go and I would look at, for instance, big role model of mine is Paige Piskin. She's an absolute delight and a lovely human being and always so helpful. But I would like go and look at her effects and be like, okay, she did this, but how did she do that? And then like, you know, sit and try and figure it out by myself. Another creator that I look up to is Balraj Baines, and I think we sort of started around the same time as each other, but they sort of like catapulted straight into the deep end with like shading and coding, and I was like, that's who I want to be, that's where I'm at. And So I was looking at a lot of people's effects and going, okay, how can I do this? And then how can I do this possibly better? Or rather, how can I do this and put an Amy spin on it? The other resources that I looked at were the Spark AR resources. They really helped. And then there was also a YouTuber named UDart that had a whole bunch of YouTube tutorials, and I would sit and like watch those for days on end, non-stop, and yeah, just practice. So there was a lot of like heartbreak in the beginning because I knew what I wanted to do and I knew how I wanted to do it, but my technical skill wasn't there. And so I relied very heavily on the Spark AR community to ask questions, and luckily a lot of people were super helpful back then, and sort of guided me on the right path without giving me direct answers, which when you're young and you're eager, you just want somebody to tell you exactly how to do it, and without the learning process that's involved into it. So, you know, you want somebody to say, do X, Y, and Z, and that's how you want to do it. But then you have somebody who would go, start at X and see how you get to Y and then go to Z. And that, for me, was like the most annoying thing, because I was like, but this is what I want to do. Like, why can nobody just tell me how to do it? And I'm actually really grateful that this is how it happened, because it forced me to learn, and it forced me to think for myself, and it forced me to make these sort of like decisions for myself and go, okay, cool, so this is how we do it. Now we can do it even better next time. So the relationship that I have with brands was literally me building up a portfolio and building experiences for these brands, but without their permission and without like actually building for the brand. So for instance, at the time I worked for a makeup company, so I was like, I'm going to make a lipstick try on filter, and they're going to be so impressed that they're going to want to buy this from me. And I built this lipstick filter that let you try on, I think, 10 different lipsticks with face retouching and a little bit of eyeliner and mascara. And it worked out great, because I went in to work on the Monday and I presented it to them, and they were just like, this is phenomenal, this is amazing, especially during the hard lockdown where you couldn't go into a store and try on makeup anymore. You could literally open your camera, go on over to the makeup brand's page and try on lipstick there. And I like to believe, although it's never been confirmed, that we didn't lose out on sales that year because we had so many lipstick try-on filters. And it hasn't been officially confirmed though, so don't hold me to that. So what I do is, when I want to reach out to a brand to build AR for, I'll build a bare bones experience, send it to them and be like, hey, this is what I do, let's chat sometime. And the thing is, especially in this line of work, and especially with technology so new, is that you have to get used to rejection. So you could literally message 150 brands and only 10 will respond to you, and only 5 of those will be clients, and only 2 of them will really get what AR is and how it's supposed to enrich the lives of the user. It's supposed to, it's supposed to be funny, it's supposed to have a cause, it's supposed to have a use for it. It's not just slap the logo on it and that's it. So you've got to get used to rejection, and I think I've been rejected over 1,000 times now, and it's just a thing. You can't let yourself get beat up about it. You can't get heartbroken over it, because for every 10 no's there will be a yes, and when you get bigger, for every 100 no's there'll be 80 yeses, and for every client that you work with, you'll be able to learn more about yourself and your learnings and Spark AR and the general, I don't know what the resources that are available for you. And I think that's an integral part of it, is that even when you're building for brands, you still got to be learning. So you can't cookie cutter the same experience for, let's say, I don't know if I'm allowed to say brand names, but let's say a mobile company. You can't have the same filter for a mobile company as you would for a makeup company. You can't have those same experiences because they have different clientele. So for a makeup company, you might have, try on 50 different eyeliners, whereas for a mobile company, you might use the real world scale object to put a cell phone in the user's camera and point out all of the features. So that's something that you've got to really look into, is that you've got to have the skills, you've got to be willing to learn, and you've got to be willing to take rejection. So I knew the second that I opened the program, and I think I made like a face tattoo filter that just had my name written across the eyebrows. I knew then and there that this was something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. This was just so exciting. I came from a design background. I am a designer still today, at the core of everything. But it was really like the second that I opened up that program that I was like, okay, this is difficult, this is hard, this is challenging, this is awful, but I love it. I really, really love it. And this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And cut to, I think, last year, July, I joined a company where I quickly became the head of camera, and so I was working in Spark AR every single day, and it was amazing, it was beautiful, it was lovely. And then I realized I can do this for myself. And so that's what I did. I left at the end of, I think, November, and went full time into AR by myself, and I haven't looked back. It's been amazing. I think AR is going to be something that explodes in the next 2, maybe 3 years, because everybody's talking about the metaverse and the metaverse this and the metaverse that, but the metaverse doesn't technically exist yet. It is an idea. So AR is the closest thing that we have right now to the metaverse, and everybody wants a piece of the metaverse right now. Every brand wants to be in the metaverse. How do we get in there? How do we do this? And AR is, at the moment, the only real stepping stone to get into the metaverse. So I think the future of AR is very, very bright. I'm eager to see what it's going to be like in 2 to 3 years. I think it's going to really sort of explode. I think we're going to have more creators. I think we're going to have more in-depth functionalities in the program. I think we're going to really see a change in how consumers consume AR, and also how brands consume AR. So I think we're going to have online shopping where you could, try on, I'm going to go back to the makeup company again, but lipsticks or eyeshadows or, foundations even. And there's going to be no need for physical stores anymore, because why would I get in my car, drive all the way to a shop to try on 3 different lipsticks when I can try on 50 different brands from the comfort of my own couch on my phone? So, the AR roadmap it's a little bit bumpy now because it's still such new technology. It's in its infancy, really. But I think that over the next 2 or 3 years, it's just really going to explode. And I think this is the perfect time right now to get into it, because it's still a baby, because it's still new. This is the perfect time to jump into it and hone those skills, get good at it, do your research, study hard, and make effects. Like, make as many effects as you possibly can, but challenge yourself for each one. Whether it's your first effect and you just want to make eyeliner and eyelashes, great, do it, but do it well and do it good and do it to the best of your ability. And then from there, the next time do eyeliner and lipstick. The next time do eyeliner, lipstick, and highlighter for your cheeks. You know, continue expanding your skills, and the metaverse will open for you.